So Daredevil Born Again marks the biggest Disney Plus streaming debut this year, but fails below The Acolyte and Agatha all along. Now, I think the biggest reasons why this show flopped is because Daredevil switched from Netflix to Disney, and because of everything Disney has been putting out, the audience has been turned off. Now, the show itself, I think, is excellent. I thought the story was really good. I like the way they built up Kingpin and Daredevil returning back as Daredevil. And I like the story overall. I like the ending of it, where Kingpin has more control over the city, and now Daredevil has to find people he can trust. So I'm excited for season 2. I like what they're doing with this series. Now, when it comes to the views, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever, because when you look at what Disney has put out with Marvel, then flop after flop. We know about the Miss Marvel was just terrible. We looked at the Marvels, it was just bad. We looked at the Eternals, bad. The only thing that's been good over the last 5 years has been the Spider-Man movie, Shang-Chi, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, in my opinion. So you put out all that together, and you're heading towards Doomsday, and you're hoping that Fantastic Four does well this summer. There's a lack of interest right now in the Marvel universe because the stories don't feel like something they're building where you care. When you look at their previous era where you had Captain America, Iron Man, all these other great characters, they were building towards Thanos, and they did a great job at getting you to care and getting you interested. Now, was every movie perfect? No. The first 2 Thor movies were okay to me. Iron Man 1 was really good. The second Iron Man wasn't that good. Iron Man 3 was really good. The Captain America series, the first one was a solid start. The second one was better, and Civil War was fantastic. So even the projects back then weren't perfect, but they weren't pushing certain agendas. They weren't pushing ideologies on you. And I think right now, Marvel is in a state of apathy where people are just like, that's cool. It's whatever. But I don't really care as much. And that's understandable given the fact that Disney has not earned the audience's trust. Also, back then, we were once kids who watched the era of Marvel and Disney and how they were doing really well with the movies. Now people are adults, they've got kids, they've got families, they've got more responsibilities. So for them to go show up at the movie theaters might not always be likely because they have other things going on. And also, things have changed where you have to catch their attention. Obviously, we have more streaming options. We have more things going on, and you have to catch people's attention faster. And those are other factors. But I think the biggest thing is the agendas they've pushed, and they've just turned people off, and a lack of storytelling. And it's just not the same anymore. And I said after Endgame that Disney Marvel should have given this a break and just started with just TV shows, projects that aren't related to this big story, because talked about the multiverse, and what is there to talk about? Like, I don't really know. So again, I think Daredevil is just suffering from the fact it's attached to Disney. I think some of the audience also were used to seeing him on Netflix. That could be a factor. And again, I think the show is fantastic. I'm not going to say it was a bunch of woke ideology. I didn't see that in the show. And I don't always like to look for that. I like to try to be objective and also acknowledge those things are in the shows. But I don't want to go and just say, oh, I'm looking for this ideology or this concept. No, like if it's a good show, I'm going to tell you it's a good show. So again, you look at the numbers here, and there was someone on Twitter, the name is Now It's Known. He broke it down really well. I'll pull it up for you guys here. As you can see, in March, Daredevil didn't even reach top 10. The only show that did for Disney Plus was Bluey and Moana 2. That's a movie, actually. So the top streaming programs, as you can see, you don't see anything of Daredevil. They're not even on the list for March. And that isn't a good sign for Disney going forward. And you look at the runtimes, they have long runtimes to start, with the premiere. And as you can see in March, this is one of their, Nielsen's one of the top websites that monitor streaming and tracks things. Now, this was back in the week of March 3rd to March 9th. So they usually are delayed a month so that we'll see the numbers come in April. But as you can see, the opening week, Daredevil didn't even reach the top 10. You look at last year, Agatha All Along and The Acolyte did better than Daredevil. So it screams people are not interested in Marvel as much anymore. And if Disney doesn't get a hold of themselves and start evaluating what they're doing, you're going to see the same results with Fantastic Four. You're going to see the same results with Avengers Doomsday. But I think a lot of the Avengers Doomsday is a bunch of nostalgia. They're trying to get the old fans interested because they're bringing back old characters. And maybe it will do well. It has a feeling of the buildup for Justice League, where everything was so discombobulated, the stories weren't connected, and then when it got to the conclusion, it just wasn't as good. So they're rushing things, it feels like. And I just think at this point, it's not going to work, in my opinion. Because if Daredevil's not getting the same interest, and again, I think it was a really good show, what makes you think Fantastic Four is going to do well and Avengers Doomsday is going to perform well? Especially when you look at the past 5 years, the Avengers are nowhere to be found. The new Captain America is supposed to be the face of that Avengers team, and we have not seen them together yet. And you have this big villain in Doctor Doom who's going to be introduced with Robert Downey Jr., and you have to wonder how's it going to work. Now, I've seen theories about he was when Captain America went back in time, that when you put the stone back, it changed the course of time where Robert Downey Jr. actually became Doctor Doom. That would be cool, but at the end of the day, I just don't see this working out for Disney. And, it's sad because you want to see the Marvel Universe do well. I talked to my friends the other day. The one industry or one studio that would like to see buy out Marvel Studios from Disney, they probably don't have enough money right now, is Illumination Studios. They've done a great job keeping the woke ideology away from their audience. They've made good films. I know the animation, but if I have any hope, that would be my hope in seeing Disney realize, you know what, we should just scrap these projects because I guarantee if Fantastic Four doesn't do well, and of course they're going to move on with Avengers Doomsday, but when that flops, I think they're just going to start from scratch because nobody's going to care and it's going to start all over. So we'll see how it all plays out. And yeah, just again, Daredevil's really good. I thought it was excellent. I just think they're suffering because their show is attached to Disney. And that's really, if it was with Netflix, I think that'd be just fine. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Love to hear your thoughts about the views of Daredevil Born Again. Did you like this show? Did you dislike this show? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.